So I think it's a great segue to move on to Jaxson Dart out of Ole Miss. He came through the USC system and kind of had some struggles there. They obviously they went through with the Caleb Williams transfer when he was from Oklahoma. So that's where Jaxson Dart went to Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin, who's also has some ties to USC. So comparison I know Fab, you laughed at this, but Carson Wentz, either best case or worst case. Carson Wentz at his height could be best case, and then Carson Wentz, after kind of his Eagles struggles, where he was MVP at first and he got injured. What do you guys think of that? Any other comparisons that you guys have heard? Best case, worst case.
Baker Mayfield.
That's a very good one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
I got a bad one. I got Gardner Minshew as a comp. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest with you. I think that's more on the low end if he doesn't perform all that well.
Yeah.
I even like a little bit of a Big Ben to some extent as well. I find just because he has a big arm and he's able like he's mobile enough to create plays. But like obviously Big Ben was never going to run away, never going to speed down the field, but has that ability to kind of make plays and
Yeah,
plays with confidence. Right? He shows a lot of confidence in his play. I find he's not scared to make
moxie.
to
A lot of
throw.
moxie.
But obviously that leads into some cons where he tries to do too much at times, and that's what's going to lead to mistakes. And in the NFL, like we said, it's faster and it's going to be, multiplied. So very big risk taker. So he's going to take risks. He's more of a project QB. I find he's going to need some development, but definitely could be good in the league.
Yeah, there was a game against Florida where he threw 3 picks in the last minute. Last
Yeah.
minute of the game, like 3 picks. Like they threw a pick, they somehow got the ball back when it was a turnover, threw another one. He unraveled. So Fab, what are your thoughts on? I know you were liking Dart a little bit for the Giants' perspective. He felt like a Giants type QB right early on the draft, and I want to repeat something I said early on in the intro where Dart has been climbing only after the college football season. During the
Yeah.
college football season, he was squarely pegged as kind of a day 2 pick. So, Fab, your thoughts?
Well, we saw that with JJ McCarthy last year too, right? Like right after the season ended, right before the draft, he was rising up everybody's draft board, and I was excited for the JJ McCarthy prospect last year because I figured we might be able to catch him in the second round, and clearly that wasn't the case. Listen, he rated very high. He rated very high in throws against the blitz in play action. So that has to obviously count for quite a bit, especially in the NFL right now. He's a big boy, man. I think he's a bit more of a project than anything else. And from a Giants perspective, I know that Brian Dable enjoys having his project QBs with Josh Allen and so on and so forth. But I wouldn't feel comfortable taking him with the third pick. I know he's been rising up draft
Yeah.
boards quite a bit. I think this is one of those scenarios where I think the gap between him and Sanders is bigger than what people say. Like if the Giants do end up, or a QB needy team does end up trading back into the first round to get him, that's great. I know I've seen a lot of mocks of him going to the Steelers at 21. I think that makes a lot of sense in my opinion. But he wouldn't normally get a first round talent apart from the fact that he does play a position that is very, very needy. And if we compare him to the QBs of last year, like we've been doing so far on the podcast, I think he would slot after all of them. Like after Bo Nix, after JJ Penix, after Penix, after JJ McCarthy. I think there is a project here, but I don't think he should be drafted and starting in week 1. That's for sure.
I think that's very fair. One of the weaknesses I had was very RPO laden
I was going
offense.
to say
So
that.
it's very gimmicky, like with a lot of college offenses. So that's why he's probably much better against the blitz, much
Hmm.
better in play action. And Lane Kiffin has had Lane Kiffin to remind everyone was the coach for the Raiders back when they drafted Jamarcus Russell, and we all know how that turned out. And in terms of some other QBs that he was the OC, USC was Matt Leinart. And Ryan's going to kill me for this because these are all like USC QBs that he absolutely loves. But Matt Leinart, Mark Sanchez, Matt Barkley, Matt Corral from Listeners.